Some of the highly sought after or asked questions on our social media pages is what kills my babies? What kills my kids? Like we are showing in video, you realize that we are going to show you some of those things. If not worked upon, your babies are going to die, and the immunity of these babies is still very, very low. The onus is on you to do what is necessary, and these babies don't die. And remember, we always tell you that every time a baby dies, it means you are losing so many goats. Among the things, the 6 silent killers, or the most 6 factors that contribute to the death of your babies is diarrhea, or what we call scores in goats. This kind of diarrhea may be brought about due to poor hygiene, maybe to, basically most of it is poor hygiene, infections running into the system of the baby, and one way or the other the baby becomes dehydrated. It brings about electrolyte imbalances, and then eventually those babies die. So diarrhea should be treated with utmost care. There are quite a number of antibiotics we use that cure diarrhea in no time, within 3 days. So basically in 1 or 2 days, if you have not helped this baby goat to reduce on the diarrhea and also rehydrate it, it will die. The other point that I've realized, there are infections that affect these babies. One of them is off. We call it obumwamwa. Obumwamwa, these are wounds around the baby's mouth. You find the goat has wounds. It cannot feed well. If not well cared for, it will starve. It will fail to eat because it's having lots and lots of pain. And we are having a few isolated cases, like 2 of them. And actually, they are meant to be isolated because if you keep them with the rest, off is it's a viral infection. It can easily be passed on from one baby to the other. So the best would be to isolate them and treat them there and then. Other infections are respiratory, like pneumonia. We also have hypothermia. All these lead to death of our babies. The other issue is non-vaccination. There are farms that are not aware that goats are vaccinated. There are farms that are not aware that babies are vaccinated. Like you're seeing here, all these babies are in their quarantine, and we are equally looking after them. There are goats, there are farms you go to, and they tell you, for us, we don't vaccinate our animals, but they are always complaining why our babies are dying. Among those 2 vaccinations that I must, one of them is against Clostridium. Here at the farm, most of the time we use Supervac 9 because we realized it caters for most of the infections that affect us at the farm. But other people have also looked out for poliovine. There are quite a number of vaccines you can use to vaccinate against Clostridium. But for us, we use Supervac 9. We realized after consulting our vets, they told us Supervac 9 is the best option for you. So every time you don't supervise your goats on time, number one, they are born when they are weak. And the babies, if not vaccinated still, they will eventually die. These are babies that die. Yesterday, they were looking so fine. They were playing about. And then in the morning, you find a goat has been found dead. So always vaccinate. We also vaccinate against PPR, stroke pox. Previously, we only used to vaccinate against PPR, but of late, there is a new innovation where they mix both pox and PPR vaccination. We do it once instead of giving a goat 2 shots at a go. So right now, things are getting clearer. I told you with time, things get better with time, after realizing that a number of our problems have been aired out on social media. So most of the people who are problem solvers, they check out our challenges and then they come out to give us those solutions, like the new invention of PPR stroke pox. All of you have been vaccinating, you're aware. We have only been vaccinating against PPR without pox. Pox is a very silent killer. It can kill a goat within days. It can wipe out, actually even PPR. PPR and pox, they are very deadly, very deadly infections. Actually for us here, before the rainy season sets in, we make sure we are vaccinated against PPR, stroke pox. And we also make sure that during those days towards the festive season, because people buy goats from all walks of life to our village. Either we have goat brokers around, they get goats from the market, taking them to Kampala. So some of those goats usually loiter to our farm. So we make sure to avoid PPR stroke pox. We are always on time to vaccinate against those infections. Another aspect as to why people, the babies die on your farms is malnutrition and starvation. These are two different things. Malnutrition and starvation. How does a malnourished goat die? Because it does not have all the nutrients in its body to keep it alive, to make it grow into a healthy baby. Eventually it will die. Starvation, when you see some of the babies we are having here, they are of the same color. And this is just a fraction of the babies we have on the farm. But when there are so many, our boys often forget which goat belongs to which mother. Which goat does this? You have seen like the babies here, some of them have orange color. That orange color is temporary, but it is only a means of identifying our babies, which baby belongs to which mother. Previously, before I got some responsible workers, we used to have babies dying of starvation. How they die starvation? The mothers come, there are some irresponsible mothers, they will not bother to look for the babies. And also, there are some babies or some mothers, they know the baby, but eventually, especially first-time mothers, they completely deny or they don't want to look at the baby. And what happens, if you don't follow up, you find this baby has not taken milk for a day. If it does not take milk for a day, it means one way or the other it's going to die. And what used to happen, you find a baby in the morning looking so haggard, looking so tired, it is weak. You give it maybe an antibiotic plus a multivitamin, not knowing it starved the day before. So some of the challenges of starvation are real on most big farms because the babies look exactly like the other babies. They are all white, they are all browny heads. So separating them ahead and know that this goat, this baby belongs to this mother may be a little bit hard. So for you as farmers who have many herds, how have you been able to solve such a challenge of starvation on your farm? Lastly, when babies are 2 months and above, we usually leave them out to go and graze on their own. And what really happens there, most of us farmers don't know what happens. These babies have been eaten by wild animals like dogs, etc. And this vice normally happens with the lambs because for them they are not so good at running. But the babies, they try their best to run, but in cases where they cannot run, or maybe they have been forgotten in the fields, some of them are being eaten by predators. You find your babies dying. And also we have human predators who steal your goats, and then they tell you the baby died, but in actual sense, it was stolen or sold off to another farmer out there who is going to bottle feed it. So among the 6 issues I've mentioned, which one affects you most? What have you done about it? There is poor management. Poor management, how is poor management affecting the health of the babies? For example, you realize where I'm standing now, this house does not have lots and lots of dung, which means 2 days before they swept this house. And also, if the babies where they are staying in a house where they have the rains easily hits on them, or where they are having too much heat on them, that one also affects their health. And also, if the baby's house has lots and lots of uneven spaces, the legs get stuck in those spaces, and most of them break their legs, so they injure themselves, and that means you must treat. But if left untreated, most of them die, or you waste a lot of medication. So if you are to construct a raised goat pen, please ensure you use a technocrat, somebody to assist you with the even spacing of the floor, to avoid babies with their little feet getting stuck in those uneven spaces you leave for the manure to pass through. That's all I had for you for this topic. Grace Boji once again from Boji Farms. Thank you for watching. Keep it at Boji Farms.